Hi, class. My name is Michelle Ponce de Leon, and today I will be presenting my theory-based case presentation. I read Visit to Dwight's Hollow, and in this case study, the main reason for referral was JD's truancy. However, when you broke it down, there was a little bit more going on than just JD's truancy, as is often true. The family is under a lot of stress as they have two adult kids move back. One's in the home with her own 3-year-old daughter, another one nearby, and the family, especially Mrs. Chapman, the mom, is worried about them and the parents' role in helping care for all of their kids returning, as well as JD's truancy and the amount of attention she has to focus in on JD's issues. There's also some other issues such as reading skills and blocked activities of enjoyment going on. So we're going to take a closer look there at the family's eco map to see how they are interacting with their outside environment, and then we'll even zoom in on JD to see what's going on there since he was the reason for referral. And so we'll go ahead and go to that next. So here we have the eco map, and we're going to focus on everybody except JD here because we'll zoom in on him next. We got Mr. and Mrs. Chapman, and they got some supports going on. Mrs. Chapman, she has a side job of basket weaving, and she also babysits for some extra income. She expressed supports in both her sister and her mom that has an energy flow going both ways, as well as with her church. We have Mr. Chapman, who has the family's income through state disability check. So that's something that's providing for the family at this time. We have JD's brother Jack. He's the one who just returned to Dwight's Hollow with his wife and kids. We don't know much about Jack, but we know the mom is concerned about his employment opportunities in Dwight's Hollow. We also have JD's sister Lori, who's 24. She has a daughter, Jessica, 3, who sometimes Mrs. Chapman can make some extra money babysitting, as Lori tries to go back to school using the Pell Grant, and she's also receiving some state benefits, and she seemed interested in services as well. And so next we'll go ahead and go into JD. Here's JD. He has Here we go. Sorry about that. Here's JD. So JD is he's skilled in mechanics. He and he enjoys doing them. So there's energy flow going both ways. School is a point of stress for him that he expressed. So we have energy going from JD to school in a broken line. He has a supportive family. He expresses enjoyment in band, though right now he's unable to participate because of his grades, and he's not doing his homework and expresses reading struggles. He has limited access to computers for the same reason with his homework and grades, which he expresses he wishes he did because he enjoys looking up car parts for his mechanic work on the computer. With his mechanics, he does help his community with cars. So he has a positive community bond there with helping with cars that he spoke with pride about. And the reason we even have JD's family on our radar is because of his involvement with the school counselor. So we have positive energy flow into JD with that relationship as well. Next, we're going to look at applying empowerment theory to this case study. The definition of empowerment theory, it's a strengths-based intervention that empowers clients to consider their own solutions to their life problems by the social worker using a non-expert approach, and it highlights system strengths. If we were to implement this empowerment theory with the work with this family, we would build rapport with the Chapman family using micro skills and by taking inventory of items like family strengths, resources, values, previous coping. We could help the Chapman family identify what they would like to see change in the systems involved and to create those steps. And if they don't already exist, helping them with building relationships with those systems. Maybe that's the school system, helping them to learn advocation skills so they can advocate for JD with any future struggles, and then just empowering the family about their role in their child's future so they can take charge. We can explore and provide resources related to skill teaching to the parents and to the family members. Maybe this would be something like a MOPS group for Lori, JD's sister, or maybe a skills training group for his brother. Perhaps this is like a tech opportunity for JD, somewhere he can practice his mechanical skills. So things like that, building on what they're already interested in, connected to. We might be able to go to the church for some resources, since Mrs. Chapman mentioned they were an area of support. And so, and then by doing all of this, we can empower the families to make changes in their community. So there could be bigger impacts of them sharing what they're doing, or perhaps even at, going up the ladder with advocating, maybe getting some skills training programs in their community, if they aren't already there. Next, we'll look at conflict theory. So this theory was developed by Karl Marx. It focuses on social class as the source of social inequality and the role of resources in social life, values, and beliefs. At its core, they believe there's a conflict theory says there's an unequal power distribution between groups. And because we like to pair together with similar people, that there is a disconnect between groups, and often accessibility of resources, since the group with the most power usually distributes all of the goods and resources. And so using this theory, we got to look at this situation a little bit different and look at some of the things behind absenteeism. So school absenteeism increases with lower SES status, and it decreases with positive attitudes towards school. And students with low SES can feel alienated from school. And so we need to look at, the Chapman family. They did express financial struggles, with the only income being disability income, and then also children returning home. JD expressed conflict between him and Mr. Waldorf, and frustrations with not being able to gauge in those classes he likes, computers and band, leaving him lacking the protection of a positive attitude towards school, which could buffer him from the family's low SES status. So figuring out how to increase the family's SES status or increase JD's attitude towards school could both buffer him from these risks of school absenteeism. So what would this look like? We could explore JD's experience with his school, which includes planning with teachers about increasing his feelings of belonging and seeing eye to eye. As he said, he did not see eye to eye. So what does that mean? How can we make it to where he does feel welcome? And like he does, he is seen by his teachers. Explore ways using school and county resources to get JD help with reading skills to assist with getting him back to subjects he's interested in. Maybe there is a learning disability going on here, or even if not, maybe just resources like tutoring that he could tap into at the school or community level. We could talk with the school about JD's involvement in classes he likes. Is there some sort of plan we can come up with that gives him access to band and computers, the classes he's wanting to take, some sort of reward system, or is there a way to get those needs met in the community as well? So kind of bypassing the school there. We can involve JD's parents in all of this, just so they can learn advocating skills for the future. And we can also explore JD's interest in access to trade programs for mechanics, maybe dual enrollment programs. And then also looking at, for JD's siblings, things like state resources, and explore with the school district about offering trade training programs to meet the community needs. So if that's not there, and we know that this town has a lot of students who are looking to get into trades, how can we get that type of training here to better equip them for the workforce? So here are some strengths and limitations for empowerment theory. So strengths, it does do person and environment. It recognizes the role of structural issues like oppression, marginalization, and discrimination. It's culturally sensitive. It's aligned with ethics. There's a community organizing component. The only thing with empowerment theory is the way it's used is inconsistent, because it's not prescriptive. It's not step by step. So what it looks like during application can differ, and it's hard to measure success. For conflict theory, also person and environment is used with this theory. It can be used across systems. It normalizes the role of conflict and allows its role in services and solution finding. So it really does provide space. And often conflict is the precedent of change. So change often comes after some sort of conflict, but also it's non-prescriptive. So it's hard to measure the change with conflict theory. Overall, my recommendation would be to use empowerment theory out of the two explored today, just because there's more of a focus on incorporating skill learning and strength identifying and kind of recognizing that personal component to change. With the length of services being short, I think we'll see the most get done by being able to both look at the systems at play, but also, again, that personal component that empowerment theory seems to kind of naturally welcome more into the solution that's up to the person and what they do. Some client-specific considerations. The Chapman family has pride in their community. This is a strength. We need to utilize this when working with the family, that they want to see their community do well. They belong to a church, so let's consider them when considering resources. Family stress is a risk factor for school absenteeism, and reducing the overall family stress should be prioritized when working. So not just focusing in on JD, but the whole family. We could connect Lori, Jack, and their families to services. So we can minimize the stress on the Chapman parents, and then they'd have more attention available for their son. Some ideas more specific, maybe a MOPS group for Lori, maybe some for Jack, employment and training opportunities, maybe state resources, additional services to test for learning disability for JD. So figuring out what those referrals might look like in their community, and seeing what can be offered. So, and then here are my references throughout, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening today.